Warning, this video contains strong language and graphic photos. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey y'all, my name is Leanne and welcome to Hooked. If you're new here, Hooked is where we talk about some true crime cases and do some crochet projects together. And I'm here for you on Wednesdays. Listen, I am stuck. I cannot believe we are already on episode 10. This is the season finale, y'all, and I'll be taking a little short break just from recording, but I don't think anyone understands how grateful I am and how much I appreciate every single one of my subscribers. Y'all make this possible, okay? And this is only the beginning. I got bigger and better stuff coming, baby. So since I've started this podcast, I've noticed a lot of people telling me different things or telling me about different stuff. One of my cousins just sent me this article about someone that works at her job, and he was under investigation for a year, and apparently he out here just letting people have sex with his kid for marijuana or something. Don't quote me. It's alleged. I don't know. But all I know is that he is not okay. It's just not okay. And my cousin was like, I never liked him anyway, and he stank. I was like, see, look, you really never know who you're working with. And I just had a client tell me today about one of her situations when she was working at this college in the kitchen, because she wanted to be a cook or whatever. She was working at this college in a kitchen, and there was this guy that literally was harassing her. Legit, she's fresh out of high school, so she was 17, 18 at the time, and this is a man in his 30s, and she said that he followed her to her car, and she noticed that he was following her. Well, not followed her to her car. She walked past her car and noticed that he was still following her, and she said she walked in circles and he was still following her, so she ended up going back to the building, and that's when he stopped following her and kind of went his own way. But y'all, this is crazy. It's just wild. Oh my God, I be hearing so much stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta tell the podcast. Oh my God, I'm about to tell the podcast. Y'all my friends. So I don't know if you guys heard, but Gypsy Rose Blanchard was released from prison on Tuesday. Now, I know you've maybe heard something about this crazy case, or seen the movie or whatever. It was everywhere at the time. I was going to do a serial killer for the season finale, but I figured since she just got out 5 or 6 days ago, it was a sign. So, on today's episode today, y'all, we will be doing the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case and the murder of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard. So, also on today's episode, I will be finishing this bucket hat that I made that I am making for someone. They chose the colors, as you can see, brown, white, and black, and I didn't do good with counting the stitches or the rows. I do apologize. I'll do better next time. But I kind of just started with a magic ring and did 10 double crochet or 10 single crochet in the ring, and then did an increase, about 10 rows, 10 increase rows, and then just one single crochet in each row, which kind of made the sides of it. And then I got lazy. I did do one row of double crochet just to give it a little razzle dazzle. But I'll finish it out with single crochets. And single crochet projects, guys, take forever, but they always look so good. I couldn't really find a yarn with these 3 colors only, so I basically had to make it, and I just kind of tied them together, basically. So it looks really pretty. It looks really good the way it's coming out. So I'm not mad at it. It's a little extra work, but hey, so it is. Let's start with Dee Dee, who is Gypsy's mom. Dee Dee was born in 1967 in Louisiana and was one of 5 kids. Her family recalls that she would steal a lot from her family as a retaliation when things just didn't go her way. Dee Dee worked as a nurse's aide in her early adult years, and her family thought that she was responsible for killing her mom by denying her food, but nothing was done about these allegations. When Dee Dee was 24, she became pregnant by Rod Blanchard, which was when they got married. Dee Dee named their daughter Gypsy Rose Blanchard because Dee Dee loved the name Gypsy and Rod was a fan of Guns N' Roses. Ron soon divorced Dee Dee, just saying that he married her for the wrong reasons. Dee Dee tried to keep Ron, but he resisted, and she took their newborn baby and moved with her family. At 3 months old, according to Rod, Dee Dee was convinced that her baby had sleep apnea and started taking her to the hospital religiously. And for those of you guys that don't know what sleep apnea is or isn't 100% sure, it's a sleeping disorder that pauses breathing or causes periods of shallow breathing. And honestly, I just thought it was a sleeping disorder that, like, something that just, it was hard for you to go to sleep. I didn't know it affected your breathing as well. Well, after several overnight stays and sleep tests, doctors found no signs of the sleeping disorder. But for some reason, Dee Dee was convinced that something was wrong with her daughter, which is weird. And she started saying that she had a wide variety of things wrong with her, which contributed to Gypsy having an unspecified chromosomal disorder. And at some point, Dee Dee claimed that her daughter had muscular dystrophy and started making her use a walker. At the age of 7 or 8, Gypsy was in a minor motorcycle accident with her grandmother, which left an abrasion on her knee. Dee Dee claimed that the doctors gave her a wheelchair, gave Gypsy a wheelchair, and said that she had to use it. It was also noted that Dee Dee pulled Gypsy out of school, like, her after her second grade year. It's getting a little weird. It's getting a little weird. Now, there were some people that had somewhat of a suspicion of Dee Dee's claims about her daughter, and one of them were a pediatric neurologist. He ordered MRIs and blood tests, and he even said, "I don't see any reason why she's not walking." Well, let's just say Dee Dee, she wasn't feeling that, and she went ahead and stopped taking Gypsy to go see that doctor. After Hurricane Katrina, Dee Dee and Gypsy's apartment was ruined, and Dee Dee claimed that almost all of Gypsy's records were destroyed. Things like her birth certificate and her medical records. A doctor suggested to Dee Dee that they move to Missouri because there was a better medical team there that had a little bit more knowledge of Gypsy's condition. And in 2008, Habitat for Humanity built them a house, like, with the wheelchair ramp and everything. This house even had a hot tub. A hot tub. The story of a single mom with a severely disabled daughter forced to flee from their home because of Hurricane Katrina took the media by storm. There was so much media attention, and a lot of people supported Dee Dee and her daughter. Especially after hearing and seeing that, like, what they were going through. And if you think about it, it is a very sad story of what happened to them. Well, they got so much support that they got a free trip to Disney World and also backstage passes to see Miranda Lambert. So, yeah. As Gypsy got older, Dee Dee would tell people that she was a lot younger than what she really was. Even Rod called, Gypsy's dad, on her 18th birthday, and Dee Dee told Rod not to say anything about her being 18, that she thought she was actually younger than that. Yeah. Gypsy was like 5 foot. She was almost toothless. She had, like, super big, like, round glasses, a super high pitched voice, which really suggested that what Dee Dee was telling people was true, and that there was actually something going on with her. Well, Dee Dee even took it a step further and started regularly shaving Gypsy's head to mimic a cancer patient. I'm broken. We're not even about to get into that. That's a whole nother thing. Anyways, and when they were out in public, Gypsy would always be, like, holding Dee Dee's hand, and if Gypsy said or did anything that suggested that she wasn't as sick as what Dee Dee said, or wasn't as mentally, here as what Dee Dee was saying, Dee Dee would like squeeze her hand super tight, and when they were alone, Dee Dee would like open hand slap her and like hit her with hangers. It don't make no sense. Well, let's fast forward. We're just gonna fast forward to 2012. Gypsy at this time was sneaking onto the internet while her mom was sleeping, just because she didn't want to, hear her mom's mouth about her just wanting to be a teenager or whatever. But anyways, she was sneaking onto the internet and she had met this guy named, I'm not gonna do this good, Nicholas Gojan. Yeah, him, Nick. And they met on a Christian single or Christian's Mingle kind of website. He did have a criminal history and some mental, health issues, but despite all of the things standing in the way of Gypsy and Nick forming a relationship, they somehow did it. There was only one thing in the way of their relationship, well, one person, and that was Dee Dee. And at first it was a joke when Gypsy and Nick would talk about, kind of getting rid of Dee Dee. But after one big argument between Dee Dee and Gypsy, everything changed. And Gypsy, told Nick how to get in, when to come, and what to do. And yeah, that that was. That's how there it was. So Gypsy knew that it wouldn't be just that easy for her to have a boyfriend or for her to introduce a boy to her mom. So they decided to come up with a plan where they would kind of just meet at the movie theater, right? So they would be at the same movie theater, seeing the same movie, and they just kind of strike up a conversation and be like, hey, you sit with me, and da-da-da-da-da, kind of like a meet cute situation. Well, let's just say Dee Dee was not feeling this boy, okay? She was like, first of all, they went to go see a Disney movie, and she was like, why is this boy in here by himself seeing this Disney movie? Like, that's kind of weird, right? And even with how controlling Dee Dee was, Gypsy was able to sneak away and, go to the restroom. And her and Nick, they did some things in that restroom, okay? They was getting real nasty. They was getting real freaky up in there. They was doing the nasty in the bathroom of the movie theater. Okay, so once you get to the length that you want, because these are all of my increase rounds, and then these are my single crochet rounds, right? So once you get to the length, I kind of just go top of the ear. Once you get there, you'll kind of just do a single crochet in the front loop only, which will kind of look like that on the inside, but it'll kind of give you a flare out. So, if you can even tell, that's it's super small because of the single crochet, but you can kind of see how that's going out. So what I'm going to do is I'll finish this out with a single crochet, and then I'll do a round of a double crochet, and then that'll give it more of a fuller brim. So when you do the brim, do not do, once you do the front loop only on this, that's it. Do single, or do it through each stitch on the next ones, because if you don't, you'll just have a flare out after each row. So you kind of just want to do one flare out and then continue around the brim. In June of 2015, Nick snuck into Dee Dee and Gypsy's home while they were out. He hid until they got back and Dee Dee went to sleep. Gypsy hid in the bathroom and covered her ears as her mother was being brutally stabbed in the next room. Well, they fled back to Nick's home, and Gypsy started feeling bad because she didn't hear anything about anyone finding the body, and she wanted someone to at least find her mom. She didn't just want to leave her mom in that, in that state. So she tells Nick to write a post on Dee Dee's, Facebook page, saying it was something like the bitch is dead or something like that, and then said something crazy about Gypsy. I don't know, but the police were able to track that IP address, and it came back to Nick's house. Well, everyone was making it seem out to be okay. Is everything okay with Gypsy? She's a victim here. And the police are like, no, it's not really looking like she was a victim here. It's more so looking like she was the one that planned this. So it got crazy. It really did. The whole trial and everything, and how she really tried to like play Nick. Like, honestly, I don't think Nick would have ever done that, or even, you know, thought about doing something like that if it wasn't for Gypsy kind of telling him to, honestly. Like, I don't know, she definitely coerced him into killing her mom. Both Nick and Gypsy pled guilty to their convictions. Nick was convicted of second-degree murder and armed criminal action and was sentenced to life in prison plus 25 years. And Gypsy was convicted of second-degree murder and was sentenced to 10 years in prison, and was available to be out, or was available for parole in 8 years. I am not 100% sure I agree with this, with this sentencing. Honestly, I don't feel like Nick would have committed this murder if it wasn't for Gypsy. Like, Nick wouldn't have been a murderer if it wasn't for Gypsy. Gypsy, on the other hand, would have found a way to get rid of her mom, because that was the only way she was going to be able to be free. We got to think about it. This girl has been abused her whole life, and getting rid of her mom, unfortunately, was the only thing to do, because they've even called police. Like, police were called, and Dee Dee was just able to explain her way out of it, and saying things like, don't listen to her. She's not mentally there. She's not mentally, you know, just basically saying that she's tripping and don't believe her. Like, it's crazy. So I do feel like sooner or later, Gypsy was going to do something to her mom that basically freed her. On the other hand, Nick wouldn't have just went out here and killed somebody. He did it for someone that he thought he was going to be with for the rest of his life, and someone that he loved. He was just heart-struck and young, and just a lot going on there. And it's just super unfortunate that that happened like that, because here we are, and she's out, released, living her best life. She's married and everything. So y'all, that was our season finale. I will be back with you guys in about 3 weeks. Please do not think I'm going anywhere. I do have a Patreon, so I'll be doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff with season 2 with that. And also follow on Instagram and TikTok and all of the things. I'll still be on there doing things for you guys and still working on Hooked and stuff like that. I just want to be just a lot more prepared next season. I just kind of jumped into this. It was an idea, and I said, if I don't do it, I'm not going to do it. So next season, I definitely want to have way more things prepared for you guys. I want to have, like, just a lot more things. And like I said, I will have that Patreon account. I will be giving little just little things out for the people that did want to join on a Patreon. I was going to do like little heart-shaped crochet, little heart shapes, and also a Hooked sticker and all of the things. But I do want to change some things on Hooked, or some things about it. So I do want you guys to, if you can, follow or get on Patreon, and you can help me kind of decide all that stuff. And I really just want you guys to be a big part of it. Like, I want, if you like what I'm doing, I want to hear you. I want you guys to be a part of this with me. I want this to be about you guys as well. So, like, definitely hit me up. Give me some cases, your opinions, any extra things that I should add to the podcast. And just how you guys feel about it so far. Like I said, season 1, we're done, man. And like I said, it's only bigger and better things coming, y'all. Bigger, better things coming. Flip this so I ain't giving it out. But if you guys do want to see the finished product of my hat here, I got it flipped inside out because I don't want to give it away. But if you do want to see the finished product of my hat here, I will post that on Instagram and on TikTok. And of course, all the time, you can follow me on Instagram at HookedWTrueCrime, on TikTok at HookedWTrueCrime, and make sure you subscribe. I will be here for you every Wednesday. Well, not the next 3 Wednesdays, but I'll be back. Like I said, I will be back. Love y'all. Bye.